Josephine PettyJohn?
Yeah, Josephine's your middle name.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how old you are, so I know what year you were born in, but what's your birth date?
February the 23rd.
And whereabouts were you born?
In Grandview, Manitoba.
At home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At home. And Dad went to get the doctor with a buggy and a horse.
Wow.
For 9 miles into Grandview.
Wow.
Mother had a lady helper. They used to have women come and help them years ago.
Mm. So more than a midwife,
Yeah.
a stay-at-home help with the household chores and...
Oh, I don't know what she done afterwards, but my dad is originally from Grandview, Manitoba.
Did they ever talk about their journey to Canada from the States?
Not really. See, Dad was working down there. He's a carpenter, and originally his mother and dad lived at Grandview, Manitoba. And he come back here when he got married and started a farm up there. That's where I was born. I have one sister and 2 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
My baby sister died of spinal meningitis.
Oh.
Way back, she was 2 years old, and she's buried in Portage la Prairie.
What was her name?
Gladys Ruth.
Gladys Ruth.
And Mary, my sister and I, we went back there for a visit one time, and we went to the cemetery. And at that time, Dad and Mother had never put a stone, on her grave.
Oh, yeah.
So I put one on.
Good.
So she's got a little stone with a lamb on it. She's only 2 years old when she died.
Yeah, that would...
Spinal meningitis was a terrible thing in them days. They didn't know what to do for it.
No.
I only think she lived 3 or 4 days and she was gone.
Oh.
That was me when I was six months old.
Oh my gosh.
I say, we're all dressed so nice and look at the awful house we're in.
Look at that. That's so cute.
That picture's pretty near 100 years old.
Right.
Taken in 1909, Grandview, Manitoba.
Really? Though.
Beautiful dress, though.
Yeah, aren't they dressed nice?
They're gorgeous.
That amazes me. We're dressed so nice, and yet the house is so terrible.
Looks like a christening gown almost. Your parents both look really happy, too, so they must have just been very excited to have little babies. And
I guess so.
And your brother. Oh.
I don't know. He's not very old. He must be about 4 there.
He looks about 4.
And I don't know why Dad gave him a 22 to hold.
Yeah.
The gun's as big as him. He and the gun are the same size.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I wonder who would have had the camera to take the picture.
My grandpa had a camera.
Oh,
Wow.
And I don't know whether you ever seen one. But it sits on a stool out in the yard, and it was about this big, and he had a black curtain over it.
Okay.
And he went under that curtain and took the picture, and then he'd take it out and take it into the dark room in the house and develop it.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, it was something he must have been very interested in to have one.
He
And
took pictures later, and I remember it. But he still had it then, but it was, I don't know what they called it or what, I don't remember even what it looked like, except he had a big curtain over top of him, and then he took it in the house. And
I wonder if it had those plates that they used in the real old cameras, the
That's what that looks like.
Yeah.
it's possibly what it was, but I can't remember. Because I left there when I was 6, I think. I never seen it again.
Mm-hmm. So that's probably one of the only photos you have of when you were that age.
That's the only one I got
Yeah.
until I was about 7 or 8, maybe. And then I got a picture, but I don't know where it's at, with the family in it. But Mother used to make our dresses, and she made it by candlelight.
Oh.
I don't know how she did it, but she sewed it by hand, by candlelight.
Wow.
We got cute dresses on, Mary and I.
That picture, they're really sweet little
Mhm.
dresses. They're really just
She
beautiful.
kept us dressed nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't just go walking in the store and pick out a dress like you
No.
do nowadays.
No,
You can't do anything like that anymore.
No.
She had everything to make.
And they didn't just sew up dresses just to be plain. Lots of time there was embroidery on them too.
They used to.
Mm-hmm.
The one I do remember was print. It had a long bodice with a ruffled skirt.
Oh, yes.
What was she like, your mom?
She was a small woman, but she was always happy-go-lucky, seemed like. I can remember before I left the farm when I was tiny, she always made us kneel in front of her and say a little prayer.
Oh.
Now I lay me down to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. We said that every night before we went to bed.
Well, that's nice.
Happy-go-lucky lady.
As far as I can remember, she always was. So was Dad. I got one spanking in my life.
What happened?
Well, he gave me some money and he sent me downtown in Forest Prairie to buy a scribbler. And I went to a different store than what he told me and got another scribbler because I thought it was bigger. And he gave me a spanking because I didn't go to the store he told me to go to. I disobeyed him. And when I come out here, we moved. Preston took me to a dance the first time, and then we started going together, and we got married in 1929.
So your husband is from this?
Yeah, he farmed and ranched. Then after 10 or 12 years, I don't remember exactly, but the grasshoppers flew in the country. They just came in like a big cloud in the sky.
Really?
And it was just blackened like a cloud. They landed on the side of the granary and settled there for the night. And they ate all the crops of everything. So he decided to go west and be a mechanic in Trail, BC.
Because of the grasshoppers?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what...
Well, there was nothing, you couldn't grow a crop. I had a plant in the house, and I'll be darned if a grasshopper didn't come in and eat that.
Really? They ate house plants too?
They eat everything.
Well, they eat
Your
everything.
clothes, everything. If
Oh.
you left your coat out on the ground, the kids they'd chew it up.
Oh my gosh.
They were horrible things.
How long did that last for?
I don't know how long it lasted, but we moved back in 1951. 10 years was out there. And we got married and lived on Mary Flat, Saskatchewan. And we bought a cow. When we come back, we paid $300 for a milk cow.
Wow.
And she gave us twin calves, heifers.
Ah.
That was a good start because we sold them when we left here, I think $10 a piece.
That would take a few animals to pay for that milk cow then, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
It took a lot of money to get started again, but we sold our house and we owned the garage and our house and trail. We sold them and come back out here and got started again.
Good.
Up until 1967. Then we had we come to get out of the fumes of the garage.
Oh. So that was a good sign to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even the
it was
smelter was bad.
It was a good place. farm back. We bought our old farm back.
I was reading in the write-up about you in the paper that you were the postmistress at Mary Flats for
I
quite some
was.
time.
Mm-hmm. I run the post office for 10 years. And it was a big place at one time. There was 38 families out there, and we had a schoolhouse, and we took the kids to the dance. We had old-time dances. Walter Boyd, he used to sing off the old dances, and we would just dance all hot. Kids would lay on blankets on the floor and go to sleep.
Mm.
Well, the parents danced.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It was a great, I think that's how it got its name, Mary Fine, because everybody was so friendly and they all met, and there's showers out there and weddings and everything in the schoolhouse.
How big was the community when you were living there?
38 families there, and we had a store besides the post office. I had the post office in my house.
Oh,
We
neat.
built a porch, good-sized room at the back of the house, and Preston made boxes and put all the people's names on them. And the people come, mail it, and I'd put it in a bag and lock it up.
Okay.
And Preston used to haul the mail sometime and later into Maple Creek
How often would mail come?
once a week.
Well, once a week.
I
Okay.
used to keep my mother too, because there was no homes in buildings years and years ago. When she got older, I kept her in the summertime. My sister kept her in Calgary in the winter. And I kept Preston's mother at times too in the summertime. She moved from one child to another. She'd stay a month and then she'd go to one of the other children and stay a month.
What's her name?
It was a PettyJohn.
Melissa PettyJohn.
So on Grandpa's side. My mother was Sarah Forrester.
That's a big responsibility, isn't it?
I
When you
didn't
had
get-
all your young kids at the time, probably.
Well, they're pretty well grown up by that time.
Did it just seem like the natural thing to do?
Well, yes, it was a natural thing to do at that
Mhm.
time
Good.
because there was no lodges or no homes for old.
That's-
There was no water in the house when we lived there, so Preston dug a well in the basement. And then when the electricity come in, he put a bathroom in the house.
That probably didn't take long to get used to, a new convenience like that.
It's pretty nice to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had that in Trail when we were there. This was after we come back.
Right.
And they put that in there.
Good.
I didn't want to come back very bad because I thought I was coming back to what I left, you know.
Oh,
We
sure.
had no electricity, no power, and no lights, and Colorado lamps.
And grasshoppers, you thought?
Yeah, grasshoppers besides.
We're,
What was you going to say?
I was going to ask you if people were scared when those grasshoppers came. Like, what an awful sight.
I suppose I was, but I don't remember.
It was probably just really amazing how they moved in and could do that much damage so quickly.
Oh, they did. They were terrible things. They'd come in at night and come along the edge of the crop all down the field, and by morning they'd have it eat back in a foot.
Yeah.
It's bad stuff.
Just black soil. There was no nothing there at all.
Mm-hmm. They were just hungry, and so many of them. Yeah.
I don't know what made them so hungry,
Yeah.
or how they could eat so
The
much.
thing is, they were the big ones too. I mean, it wasn't just a hatch.
Oh.
New hatch, you see.
Oh yeah,
Right.
a lot of them were big.
They
big
were all
ones.
the big ones coming in.
Yeah, because they were flying in,
Yeah, they
right?
were flying and they
They're
come
all
in.
flying in. I suppose I was scared, but I don't remember. They were there, and I coped with it.
Did you know at the time that you came back whether there were grasshoppers again or not?
Oh yes, I knew they were gone before I went back. That
Good.
part.
Good.
But I just thought about electricity and water in the house and stuff like that
Yeah.
that I had in Trail.
So when you came back, was that already installed into your house, or was that something you and
Oh,
Preston?
we didn't have power yet either then,
Okay.
because it didn't come in 2 years after we went back.
Okay.
We did have a gas range, so
Oh, that would be an improvement too, because you would have went from a
I
wood.
had wood and coal before.
Mm-hmm. What did you have in trail?
You know, I don't know why we cooked on wood. Do you?
Where in Trail? No, we had,
We cooked on wood a lot.
oh yeah, we did some, yeah, that's right,
To
we did.
start with, I don't know
Start
why
with.
we did.
Yeah,
That must have been just what was in the house that you bought,
Used to,
probably.
well, it might have been in the house when we went there. I don't know, because we bought a house, but we built onto it, and the boys and the neighbors dug a basement under the house, and then we made a bedroom down there, and a washroom, and a coal room, and so on, and a stairway coming in from the outside.
So you must have had a busy household at times with 8
I guess I did.
kids and plus the
You
neighbors.
know, it
and
just-
plus the neighbors, because
it
8
just
kids
seemed
plus.
to me that nothing ever bothered me. I just went along with it.
Well, the older ones helped a lot too, you know.
Pardon?
The older kids helped a lot
Oh,
too in the
yeah, they
housework
did.
and cooking. I
There's
cooked
2
breakfast
boys,
pretty near every
Gordon.
morning.
Mm.
Yeah, he cooked porridge for everybody, and then he went to work before he went to school.
Yeah, worked before school.
Then Jimmy, he lives in Victoria now, and he worked in a restaurant, washed dishes, but they didn't have a dishwasher then either. And June, she did make the lunches for the kids and one thing and another. And Arthur, he delivered papers. They all worked. The world now is nothing like it used to be. Nothing. There's so many things that I'm not even interested in. As far as computer and stuff like that, I don't care if I ever see it. I don't want to learn. All my kids has got email things and stuff like that, but I'm not interested in it. And I've been in here since 1967. And my husband died in 1969. I had a cancer operation in 69,
You did.
and I survived that.
That was a major year for
Yeah,
you,
it
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And I think I've done pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Well, you look wonderful, Mrs. PettyJohn. Yeah, I wouldn't for a minute guess that you've had your 100th birthday.
I get home care now. You know Cheryl?
Yeah, I saw Cheryl last night.
Now she comes. She was here this morning.
Oh, yes.
She's home care lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she would be a bright person to do that. Bright and cheery.
She was funny. She said she danced till 4 o'clock and home and didn't get home till 4 o'clock this morning. Told her I choked on that one. I just. But we used to do that in Mary Flat.
Sometimes Mary Flat still does that.
Yeah, Mary Flat still has
Dance all night.
hall
Yes,
there.
yes.
Yeah,
Hasn't changed them.
there just isn't that many people around anymore.
Right. But that little school sure can get a crowd even today for their Christmas parties and the showers that go on. It's just wonderful to see.
Oh, it was a wonderful place to go, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then you all come there for dances and showers and parties and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So who were some of your neighbors in Mary Flat?
Pardon?
Who were some of your neighbors in Mary Flat?
Kate and Clarence Cochran. Fred and Dora Anderson was our closest two. And then Preston's brother Austin lived up this road a little bit. And his brother Lee. We used to curl out there
Well,
on
the road
creek.
used to go straight across.
Oh,
The men cleaned off the creek, and they bought curling rocks, and we all went Sunday and curled. Well, we had ball games all the time, and they went from place to place, you know, tournaments. We played ball, all the boys played ball, the older ones, on Mary Flat.
the Mary Battlers.
The Mary
Yeah,
Battlers.
that's what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a skating rink down on Battle Creek there too, where Joan and Wilkes lived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to have
And we took the kids down swimming every summer in the creek.
Do you have a lot of livestock at your place?
Yeah, well, we had quite a few. What did we have? 100 at one time or more?
no, I don't think it was quite that many.
Something like that, anyway.
And horses? Or 100 horses or 100
Oh no,
cattle?
no, we had just horses,
Be
Oh,
about 3 or 4 horses.
just for riding and purpose like that. Oh well, we farmed first with horses, so we got a tractor.
Well, that was when you were here before.
That was the year before when we was out there.
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, that was before they had horses to farm.
Oh,
And then
When
Dad
Gordon
finally
was-
got a Ford tractor was the first one. I don't remember exactly.
When Gordon was a baby, his dad used to put him in the seed box and take him around. Thing Preston did, we had a good-sized porch, and he put a hook up all along the side, and each child that came in hung his coat up and put his overshoes under his coat. So they, and then in the morning, when they got up to go to school, they made their own beds, because I helped them to start with. And no matter how messy it was, I never scolded them. I just kept at them till they did it good. I don't know what else. And they always, when we had a dining room, we used to have dinner, and they all, you know, I baked up 100 pounds of flour every month.
Oh my.
wow.
And we ate a bag of potatoes every month.
And that's 100 pounds probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the fall, we always got in a big order. It would be 100 pounds of white sugar, brown sugar,
Coffee, probably.
and coffee and tea or whatever.
Farming at Mary Flat, Mrs. PettyJohn, was there quite a ways to have to haul your grain when you
Pardon?
Did you have to haul your grain quite a ways when you wanted to sell it?
I think it was 18 or 20 miles,
Oh, it was that far.
and we hauled it to Senate,
Okay.
Saskatchewan, with horses and grain
Okay.
wagon.
Right. Do you remember how many bushels you could haul in one load?
Would it be 40?
Yeah, pretty close to 40, I think.
Oh.
Grain box on
wow.
the sleigh.
So it took a long time to
I
haul the
remember-
grain away.
Yeah, well, I remember going once and it took all day.
Oh,
Go down to Senate and back.
that's quite a
And-
difference.
And we used to go into a little store there that had this here licorice, hard licorice balls, little round licorice balls. And we used to buy those when we were kids. And there was a Chinese fellow that owned the store there
Mm-hmm.
in the Senate at that time.
Oh, okay. Before Calmerings.